Shalom Yasharala. Before we go into this lesson, now you see what we're going into. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verses 9, because we know that Edomite Jennings has did what? He butchered the scriptures. He is trying to find a way where he himself could be saved by changing the narrative and the meaning of the word Jacob and Esau into the listener's mind. But you see, it's going to fall on deaf ears after this video, because I'm going to show you where it cannot be a similitude, because it referenced to when they were both created back then. Now let's read. Before you go to read, we give our honor, glory, and our praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. We give double honors to the apostles and prophets and elders of James Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for they bring forth the 100% truth that have been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, tabernacle of David, and I am my brother Zaria coming to this lesson. Now listen to the lesson. Now you could get the account with what we did yesterday on GMS Hopefully Elect, which is Abana's page. Right, and then this is a land back video to what he did. I'm going to do more or less the same thing, but bring on a few more precepts. All right. So when you go into Second Ezra, he read, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it." Now he made Esau seem like as though, and Jacob like a similitude, whereas Esau was being the time that we are in, and the kind of characteristics that the nation and the world has is going to come into an end, whereas the new era is going to be as Jacob. That's not the case. That is not the case, because when let you go back from verse 7. 8 is the point, but 7 will give you the answer. I mean 8 will give you the answer, but let me read. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, "Then answered," because he's answering a question, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times?" That was the question, right? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth, right? Because they follow after law and testimony. The end is the era of the iron and the clay, which is referenced in Daniel, which is going to be broken in pieces by the new kingdom. So he's asking, when will this kingdom become to an end? And he's answering, when will the new kingdom come into fruition? Roughly paraphrasing, right? And the answer, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. So were born of him. In other words, it's referring directly to Jacob and Esau. In other words, their descendants. Because we know Jacob goes back, his name was changed to Israel, and then we have the Israelites that dwell in Israel. Those are now the descendants of Israel. Like manner, Esau, which his descendants goes back to what? Esau or Edom, which you can get that account before you continue in Genesis 36 and verse 9, I believe. 8, Salak. It says what? Thus dwell Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. In other words, it's referring to what? His descendants. In verse 9, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites. Come on. So let's go back into 2nd Ezra. We had to get that out today, because we know there are listeners and new listeners that might be a particle of Jennings listening. And when they come across this video, they will want to, So let me make sure it's clear today. Alright? So, going back into verse 8, as we read again, and he said unto me, the answer, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And for those who knows about the heel, anytime you damage that heel, that tendon, and that heel, it is after a while, especially if it's severed, it is impossible to stand again. To what? To stand again. So when the heel, the foot, is fully destroyed, it will be impossible for Esau's nation to stand again. That's the point of it. Which is why it says, and Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Because who is ruling the earth today as we speak? It's the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, the so-called white man. Come on. So Jennings error not knowing the scriptures. In fact, he butchered the scriptures. If you're not skilled in the scriptures, be quiet, learn, and be taught again. Roughly paraphrasing. Go back and learn again. It's not for you at this point in time, but you, my friend, I can't say a friend, you, my enemy, might be a Edomite. So, we don't cast people as swine, but this is for the edification of the jakes that are listening, right? So, understand. It goes. You see again, Esau were born. Let's talk about the creation of Jacob and Esau, and then of course coming on to the descendants. How it's going to happen? In this time, Esau is going to be ruling, which they are today. And when Yahushua come on the scene, remember he is going to be that leading point for the fall of Esau. When he comes, he's going to judge and make war. Right? He's going to destroy the kingdoms of these nations, especially, main point, Esau, Edom, along with what? His saints. All you need to do is go back to the history and the mystery would be clear. But you know what? You want to lean onto your own understanding. So let's go Romans chapter 10 and verses 2. It says, I bear them record that they have a zeal of power, but not according to knowledge. Here it says in verse 3, for they being ignorant of power's righteousness, going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of power. What did they do? They hadn't submitted themselves. They hadn't subdued their own understanding. They can't take instructions. It's not for them to get. The Bible tells you what? Teach this unto the wise of the people. Who are the wise of the people? Those that were created to receive. Those that were able to comprehend and understand the scriptures. Bible tell you that, roughly paraphrasing. He is not a wise. He is most likely a swine. Now let's get an account in Daniel to make this even more clear what's going to happen. Alright? Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44 and 45. The point is, let's with verse 45. We'll go back to verse 44 after. For as much, verse 45, verse 44. And in the day of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom who shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. Listen, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. It shall stand forever, for as much as thou sawest that the stone were cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron and the brass and the silver and the clay and the gold. The great power had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain. The dream is what? Certain. And the interpretation thereof sure. There's no mistakes in this interpretation nor this dream. Let's pull up the Daniel statue. I'm trying to let this thing buffer, but it's not buffering. But this is, you see where the iron is second until last, and then the what? The clay right there is last. You see that clay? Right? The iron and the clay is going to be break in pieces. That is the end of the era of these kingdoms, ending with Esau, Edom. I wish this could buffer. I don't know why it's not buffering. But it is what it is. Going back into the lesson. This is why in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, it says that Esau is the end of the world because he's going to be destroyed. When Yahushua comes, he's going to try to intercept Yahushua come with the chariots, and they're going to be put down. And when he enters into the earth, it's game over. It's game over for Esau, Edom, and their rulership. He's going to put their rulership down to the ground. They're going to be brought low. This is what it's talking about, and they will never rise again. So Esau is the end of this era. Going into let get a precept again. I want to go back into that thing. Let's go into 2nd Ezra 6 and verses 9 in the GNT to give clarification to the scriptures. When I talk about this era, let's see. If I could, please. 6 and 9. Right. It says Esau represents the end of this age, and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. The new age is what? Where the children of Israel is going to take the kingdom, and they are going to be in rulership with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai forever. The Bible tells us they're going to stand forever. It's not going to change. This is why it is referring to that. You see when you don't follow according to law and testimony, you see where you get tripped up. And if you have a pastor like that bringing that nonsense into your mind, what do you think going to happen? Yahweh is coming to destroy this king. Let me get a precept now. I don't want to say these things without bringing that out. Now you see the kingdom is not left for other people. Only for who? The children of Israel. We'll get that just now. Let's go Revelation chapter 19. And let's read verse 11. It says, and I saw the heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. In righteousness he that judge and make war. In righteousness he judge and make war. His eyes was a flame of fire. What is fire used for? Anyways, at his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew of him. Why would his head have many crowns? Because it goes back into Revelation chapter 11. Let's go in and let's read it. Exactly what was said here, that they're going to break in pieces. Yahweh is going to come and take the thrones, the crowns from these kings. Revelation 11 and verses 15. Before we continue, it says, the 7 angels sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdom of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. In order for they to become his, he has to do what? Take it from them, because we know Esau is not going to submit to the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Going back into Revelation chapter 19, verses 12, verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Power, which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that is the Son. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, which is the chariots, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Verse 15, listen to it. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he shall smite the nations. It's telling you how they're going to receive the crown. It's also telling you how these nations are going to be broken, especially in this end time where Esau, Edom in rulership. Hence, why it says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This is direct. How could this be a similitude for one consciousness being passed on, and next consciousness being brought forth, and rejecting the sole purpose, Jacob and Esau? You don't have that understanding, don't you? You're so trying to save yourself because your father seemed to be an Edomite. You're so trying to save yourself, but you don't know the scriptures. You don't have the understanding. You're still calling on JC. That means your doctrine itself is flawed. So, I think you should rack it up, If this is how you go and operate at this point, you should rack it up. It ain't making no sense. You should rack it up, brother. Not brother, sir. Rack it up. Jennings, rack it up. You don't have the understanding. At this point, it's evident. Let's keep reading. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and treaded the winepress of the faces of his wrath of the Almighty. Who that faces of his wrath is for? Malachi chapter 1 verses 4. Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith Jehovah's host, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness against the people who I had indignation forever. Where's indignation? Wrath, fierceness, anger. Isaiah 63. What did the Lord Yahweh coming through Bozrah with a garment dipped in blood? Why? And he said he treaded the winepress. It's going back into that. That's what Revelation 19 is telling you about. Prophecy is going to be fulfilled when Yahweh comes. It's going to be a mass bloodshed, especially for the Edomites. This is not hard to get. This is not hard to get. When you go to 2nd Ezra, let's go 7 verses 42. This is why it tells you, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 42, 7 verse 42, so let me read it. He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory that abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time. What is the day of doom? When Yahweh comes on the scene. When the missiles are thrown out on America, Babylon, that's the day of doom. The day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Intemperance is at the end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Make it make sense. It's talking about the end of Esau, Edom, and their wickedness and their foolishness, and the bringing back of the children of Israel back into the states of the sons of God, being immortal yet again, because they were created to be immortal. Bible tell you that. I tell you, every time I hear people like that speak this foolishness, but a matter of fact, the Bible tells you that the end is going to be a fire. Let me read that precept, and before we close up with that precept, Sirach chapter 21 and verses 9. Let's read. The congregation of the wicked. Who is the wicked? We just mentioned in Malachi chapter 1 and 4. You know? The congregation of the wicked is like a tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. That's the day of doom. Their destruction. Their crashing down of their system, their system. Their rulership is going to come to a straight end. By fire, whether they like it or not, and bloodshed. If you follow law and testimony, if you follow according to the standard, you'll go back into the history, understand that these things didn't happen yet, so you can look out for these things to come. Because again, Daniel 7, there goes Daniel 7 and 18. So Daniel 7 and 18. I read, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. If this is going to take place, that means there will be no place for the rulership of the Edomites or the so-called white or anybody else on the earth but the nation of Israel, right? We could agree on that, right? So if that is the case, doesn't the accuracy of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9 remain standing? Make it make sense. This is why we tell you all these nations can't get saved. That you can't do nothing against the truth, but for. Thank you for giving me a lesson to do though. This should edify the other many people who come and listen. Make it make sense. Prophecies direct to this Esau Edom being put down, end of an age, and Jacob coming back into rulership forever, beginning of a new age. So I hope this lesson was edifying. Don't mind I was rude in speech. Sometimes bullshit, BS, nonsense, butchering of the scriptures could get a brother hot in the spirit. Shalom Yasharala, Kal Halalyam, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makakwadash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of JMS Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for the before the 100% truth that have been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, the tabernacle of David. I am a brother Tazariak saying to you, Shalom.